day 60 of our daily bread, and we're reading today Numbers 14 through 15. In today's reading, um, the people are like complaining again. All they do is complain. And this time they're like, it would have been better for us to just die in Egypt. Or why did he bring us out here? We could have just stayed where we were. Blah, blah, blah. And so the two spies who were sent over to view the land was Caleb and Joshua. They were telling them like, no guys, the land is good. Like, we seen all these things. It's incredible. Blah blah blah. These people didn't care. They were still like complaining, right? So then guys like, yep, for being ungrateful, guess what? You ain't gonna never get to the promised land. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. So he's basically put in that these people will stay in the wilderness until the last one who grumbled against him dies. And he says, I guess in his head, he knew it was going to be 40 years because he's like, you guys are going to be in the wilderness for 40 years for every year equivalent to every day that they've spent in the promised land. So, my question is, were they in the wilderness for 40 years solid, or was this 42 years? Because they already been in the wilderness 2 years. So is God saying that you're going to be in the wilderness for an additional 40 years, or you got 38 more to go? I don't know. But yeah, so that's what he told them. And he only gave them that grace because of Moses. Moses was like, no, please don't strike them down, because God was like, I'm finna kill everybody. I'm finna kill everybody. And he's like, no, because you told the people, like, these are your people. You're going to protect them. You're going to take them to this nice land. And if you kill everybody, then they're going to, basically poke fun. Like, we knew this God was blah, blah, blah. So he's like, no, don't kill him. And so God's like, well, I guess that makes sense. So I'm not going to kill him, but they not going to get into the promised land. And so he says that everybody who grumbled against him couldn't go, except for Caleb and Joshua. Those were the only people who could get in. Anybody 20 and older at this time who grumbled against him, they not going. They not going in. They're going to die in the wilderness. And I was like, ooh, wee. That's tough. But... And they were so close. It's like right there, but they just complain. These people complain a lot. But okay, so that's what God told them. Then you had these people who was like, well, screw that, we're gonna go. We just finna go up there, and they moved without God or Moses. Moses didn't say move, the cloud didn't move, so they just was like going, right? And of course, them people told them up. They told them up all the way back to Hormah. They was just like, yeah, nah, not around here, partner. And they came on back, and it was just like, how far did you think you was gonna go without God or without Moses? But they just thought they knew everything, and it was a horrible ending for them. But anyway, when we go into chapter 15, these people so hard-headed that God has to reestablish, the acceptable forms of worship to him and the acceptable offerings and the sacrifices. So he just basically reiterates all the things that we talked about before, like which animal needs to be sacrificed for what sin or what needs to be forgiven. And he adds some wine in there and things of that nature. So check out chapter 15, read it for yourself, and come back and let's chat about it in the comments. Because, yeah, it's very interesting that they had to relearn what needs to happen. But these people, I'm not surprised because they hard-headed. But also in chapter 15, another thing that happened was, man, you literally have to do nothing. The Sabbath day, you sit down and do nothing. That's all you literally have to do. But he decided that he wanted to get wood. So when he went to go get the wood, they were like, okay, this has never happened before, so now we got to hear from God what we supposed to do with him. And God's like, kill him. Kill him. And so they took him to the be outside to be stoned. And I'm like, ooh wee. I thought they said God was nice. This guy is killing everybody, okay? If it wasn't for Moses, all of the Israelites would be dead. And now this man was getting wood and he dead. And it's just like he literally had to do nothing. If he would have did nothing, he would still be alive. But that was crazy. He said kill him. And that's it. That is it. But yeah, as always, this word is good to me. So whew. Let me know what you think in the comments about today's reading. Tomorrow reading is number 16 and 17. So check it out and meet me in the comments.